honestly, Ayubi, I want to know. These eucalyptus lollies that we've been chewing on for the past 13 minutes, where
Yeah.
did you get them from?
Yeah, where'd you get them from?
I believe I bought them from Aldi around.
See that crackling sound,
Like, hang
guys?
on.
That's the eucalyptus
I want
bag.
to take a
You
photo
want,
of
to know
them.
the end of this? I bought it from Aldi.
Take a photo of that right now. That's
Aldi,
how
Aldi.
eucalyptus.
There's something like a pack of 100 or something like that. But I bought these like a year and a half ago.
Wow. Are they out of date?
That's why they're so sticky.
Are they out of date?
I don't know if they've got a date. It's just the eucalyptus lolly.
Well, speaking of
Lollies?
out of date,
Oh.
maybe this doesn't correlate at all.
Uh,
But have you ever called someone and he, like a very busy person, he's very busy, and when you call him, he tells you, just give me a sec, and he puts you on hold.
and never answers you.
1 minute goes past.
Ah.
Man,
2
I-
minutes goes past.
I've been in that exact scenario, but on the opposite end.
Yeah.
Then,
And I've been witness to such a scenario.
but so you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Then you shut because I don't know why lately. I don't know if it's always been like this. I cannot use the internet whilst I'm on the phone, unless it's the Wi-Fi is connected.
You can't on the phone.
Yeah. So if you and I are talking on the phone
So if you're on Wi-Fi
without using Wi-Fi,
without using Wi-Fi, you can't.
I can't access the internet whilst on the call.
It's very, very slow.
It doesn't work for me.
I've never had that.
So I
experience.
can't search. For example, if I'm on the phone with Telstra, there's
Yeah.
no Wi-Fi. Why did I give Telstra a plug?
That's not. They're
Yeah,
not gonna get any more business from your plug cream.
I can't search for anything online. Doesn't work. So anyway, this guy.
Yeah.
Then when you shut to use your phone
Mhm.
and you still want him to call you back, he calls you back and say, "But why did you hang up for?" And it's happened once, twice, 3 times, 4
Almost, I
times.
think daily.
Daily.
Yeah.
Daily.
From what I've seen, it's been daily.
So what would you do if you were me? Like, would you hang up because I want to use my phone?
Yeah, I'd hang up.
And you wait for him to call you back?
He's giving you the funny eyes.
I don't think he knows what we're talking about.
Oh, he's
Definitely, I do know what you're talking about now. While you were saying that, I took the liberty of calling Mustafa Ayyubi on his phone.
now.
You can see now, yeah, it should be calling in 3, 2, 1. Answer, now try and search something.
I can. I'm almost certain.
And show us, because I know that it doesn't work with me. I can't search on the phone, or I can't search on the internet. Yeah, it's open, but now try and search or
Right.
open a website. You might do a Google search because Google loads up quite quickly.
Let's see.
I almost said Googie. But Google loads up quite quickly, but opening up a web page, opening up something like that, it does take see that? It's taking a very long time.
Oh, but it's a big web page that I just opened, man.
What? Which
Look how big it is.
service
How many
provider
photos?
are you with?
Telstra.
Aren't you with Telstra?
And I'm on like 2 bars of 4G too.
So your internet wasn't working.
Are you connected to my Wi-Fi?
no, just Telstra. For 2 bars of 4G.
I have to call Telstra
So if
tomorrow.
I'm right, let me try. Maybe it's only your phone.
That's weird.
Let me see.
So does your one work, Halbuni?
If I'm on the wait, I'm connected to Wi-Fi. 1 second.
I've had a gutful of this.
I was still on the phone. You've had a gutful of this.
Absolute gutful.
Just get a new phone.
My
See,
NBN.
Look how long it's taking to load.
Oh, he's like that as well.
What do you do? What page is that?
I like how you're looking
Google.
at the phone without your
Go to the
glasses.
Telstra webpage.
That's
see.
my business name. Search my business name.
Ooh.
All right, let's see.
Don't give me a plug. I haven't sponsored the show just yet.
What are you grateful for in your life,
Well,
other than your family?
there are certain things I'm grateful for, and the first thing that popped to my mind when you said that were my parents right now.
Halbuni.
Alhamdulillah. Are you able to open it?
Very fast.
Man,
Yeah.
he's
What-
got excellent internet.
What are you grateful in your life? What are you
You didn't
grateful?
let me finish my
sorry,
answer.
Sorry, I thought that was it.
But why are you so quick to just move on and just leave me out of things?
Because I thought you were finished.
We had a great podcast 2 podcasts ago about communication. Are you even listening to what I'm saying?
No.
Excellent. Effective communication at its finest. Anyway, back to what I'm grateful about. My first initial thought were my parents, but then I look at other things and I'm grateful for the current lifestyle that I'm able to live in comparison to so many people around the world that are
Yeah.
living in dire circumstance. They're living in poverty. They're living in danger. They're living in times and
Hard
situations
times,
that prove a lot of hardship
Yeah.
I
or
gave
provide a lot of hardship.
I gave an analogy today, and it resonated a lot. And I'm also grateful for that. Even though we go through the motions We have our ups and downs. But it's important. Sometimes you find like you're stuck in the well. And the well, you're drowning in that well.
You drown in wells?
Yeah, so when you fall down the well, you drown if you reach the bottom.
Yes, that.
That usually, if the well's full of water, or you die.
I think if
But
you
it's
fall
an-
down the well, you have a bigger problem than drown. That's a deep.
It's
well's
a deep well, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
but-
the analogy. And then when you climb to the top,
Yeah,
you know how you're fighting yourself?
how do you climb up a well
It's just an analogy.
Like
Have
a
you
ninja
watched
style.
Batman before?
with the gun?
You know, have you watched Batman? You know the most recent one, not
He's-
the most recent one, the one that has Bane in it.
No,
yeah.
The guy with the mask.
Yeah.
I think I watched these movies
you-
for like
when-
5 minutes, man.
When he said that, that's what it reminded me of.
It's just
Yeah.
and from his belt. It's just,
When he's trying to climb out of this.
And by the way, my
This hole.
my analogy just died.
yeah, we just dissected that
no,
saying
no,
to
we're
us.
Died.
we apologize. No. Let's get back to it.
Like
Show
there
us.
was music in the background.
So when you come up the well,
This one?
Motivational music.
Oh,
No, that's
definitely not that one. Anyhow,
no,
coming
but
back up
really
the well.
seriously, you think that whatever the circumstance that you're going through, I'm talking about the common person in
General.
our country
Yeah.
in general. When you compare that to others around the world who are in poverty, you think that you just say, thank God that you're grateful for everything that you have, your sight, your senses, your hearing.
Yeah, man. You know what? In this country, we don't have much to be sooks about. No, honestly, you see some people, they're such sooks and so on. But if they were to reflect on themselves and see what others are going through,
Well, that's why I told you that analogy.
Thank you, sir.
The analogy for the well. Thank you for giving me the water bottle.
hey, just as usual, I get the new bottle.
You
You,
do.
get the second-hand bottle.
I know.
That's his bottle
That's
from last week.
Oh, you got to
I
finish
told
it.
him
You're
leave
not,
it,
you're not
yeah.
getting a new bottle,
Yeah,
Cram, until you
definitely.
finish the old bottle.
Yeah, so if you're stuck in that well,
And you're climbing back up.
you're climbing back up. The mistake that people often make is that when they're taking the peak and they're finally getting out of that darkness, that shadow and darkness,
Mhm.
is that they don't equip themselves with the right tools to escape it. Rather, that every time they peak, they fall right back down. And then it becomes a vicious cycle.
Yeah. That's deep.
So every time
Pun-
they experience...
Unintended.
Yeah, very deep. That's a great pun. It's a vicious cycle, whether they're students,
Uh-huh.
whether they are they work full time, regardless. And they live sometimes, they go for long durations where their life is full of misery. They have happiness, but it's not long lasting.
Halbun, you want to tell him? Or am
All
I
I'm
going to have
saying-
to tell him?
You're gonna have to tell him.
Take
my
it
friend.
home, man.
Yeah, that's the analogy. I finished. I'm waiting for someone to talk, and you guys are just staring at me.
No.
I counted
I'll
3
tell
minutes.
you why. Because when you started with the analogy, it took me to an analogy about life that it's a funny one. It's not
Yeah.
funny, but you can relate to it. Where life is like you're driving a car at night, but with the headlights on.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're driving a car at night with the headlights,
headlights on.
you can see only what's in front of you. You don't see what's going to come around from the sides of the car.
That's right.
So you always need to be alert. And life's like that. You don't know what's going to hit you during life. You know, there are certain hardships that come across in your life and they just surprise you. It's like, in Australia, for our thousands upon thousands of fans in Germany,
Thousands of thousands.
Hey, latest in the US too.
in the US,
Oh,
they-
shout out to that person in the US.
The memes guy.
He just keeps emailing us funny memes, which we can't share on the show, on the Instagram
are
page.
they're just subtly inappropriate.
The last one was so funny.
It was hilarious.
So
Now,
funny.
When
son.
Mustafa Kram decides to start his own podcast.
Yeah.
That meme was funny.
Only if we can share that one.
That was so funny.
look, we maybe will look into the future or into uploading them in the future.
Yeah.
But for now, they are inappropriate. So if you're listening out there, we're not going to say your name. Send more appropriate memes, and we'll be happy to post them.
We'll just look at them.
You know
Yeah,
what
we'll
I love
look at
about
them
his
for now.
email? It says fan. What's this, the title of the email? Not fan support. Yeah, there we go.
Anyhow.
Fan. The first email was fan service. And the
Fan
title
service.
was Ride the Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Going to our previous
We
podcast.
responded to him, and he heard the next podcast, and he wrote more fan service.
That's
Well,
awesome.
This is a message to all our listeners out there. We are extremely happy with a lot of the feedback and support that we've been receiving from all of you.
And if you want to make memes about Mustafa Kram and email them to us, we don't have to share them, but we can enjoy them.
What is our email?
What was the email, man?
The shortstickspodcast at
At
gmail.com. Feel
Yeah.
free to
But
send us any inquiries
why were the
or
memes-
questions.
Specifically at me. If you're more than happy to make memes of any of the Mustafas,
Look, let's
I
be
think it's
honest.
funnier,
Let's
but-
let's be honest. You're the content. You're the content of the short sticks. That's probably why they're sending memes about you.
I've thought a name for my own show.
Are you planning to leave
You
us?
serious?
very
No, I'm
soon?
not leaving you.
I have separation anxiety.
I'll never leave both of you.
Thank you
Do
very
you like
much.
his haircut?
Look. Let's get back to what you were talking about before, because honestly, it's an important
But
topic.
do you just like his new
Oh,
haircut?
his haircut. Obviously,
Today,
I
you
absolutely love his new
Man,
haircut.
I'm just gonna say we
It was
sound
so
like a bunch
exciting.
of people that have ADHD in this podcast.
No, but it was very exciting
It was.
having that haircut with him in the morning. I felt like my son.
Don't say that stuff. What's wrong with you?
No, not in a bad
Aren't
way.
you older than him?
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
But it
How
was-
am I your son? If I-
my brother. I felt like I'm going with my brother. He's
Your
cutting
young-
his,
your
'cause he
younger
grew
brother,
his
yeah?
hair. Yeah,
No, stop it.
he grew his hair,
Yeah.
and it was like a achieve. Like I felt good that he finally, because he decided he's not going to grow it anymore, and I
You
experienced.
made
him
a
cutting
very
his hair.
important life decision.
He's been growing it for a while.
There is way more to the story than this. Oh my god! The
Okay,
point of
tell
the
us.
story was I contacted Halbuni. Before contacting Halbuni, Kareem goes to me. I go, hey man, I need some haircut advice. I need. It's not. You know when you keep getting these
You're not
haircuts,
feeling it, yeah.
and you're saying that's not the one. That's not the one. And then I go to Kareem. That's how I'm feeling. Then he goes to me, contact Halbuni. So I message Halbuni. I go to him. What do you think? What was Halbuni's response? Do you remember?
He instantly gave you how to cut
But
your
what
hair.
was that? What did he say? He said, "Oh, I already have a hairstyle in mind
The
for
one
you."
for yeah. That's him. That's him.
He already had it.
I had already envisaged how you would look with that hairstyle.
Why do you think he's put up with me for 15 years?
Oh man!
Because he already envisions
But
how
how
the phone
about
call's
how-
going to take place,
That's the only way I've been able to survive.
or how the night's going to take place based on my mood.
How about how Mustafa Al-Ayyubi sent me the message? He goes, "Hi, I'm going to get straight to the point. I need haircut advice."
I was with him when you
that's,
sent it.
that's all he sent me. He didn't ask about my day. He didn't ask me anything.
So anyhow, so that's what happened. Then I listened to your advice. All he had to do was direct me to a barber shop that I was okay with. So he took me to his barber, and that's it. So he wasn't trying to be like my mum.
Oh, and guess what they said? They said
They
we
were
need
so
short.
psyched.
They said there's 3 chairs there. They said please get short sticks number 3, so we can sit you all and cut your hair at the same time.
Yeah, I'm happy to have a short sticks haircut trio.
Yeah, and they said that they're more than willing. So if we can do an IGTV there, they said they would like to be there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
very willing to.
He what, Riyadh was it his name? Whatever.
Well, I told him I'm not mentioning your name on the show.
Oh, whatever, man.
Now, no, that's it. Riyadh,
Riyadh,
thank you for the haircut.
Yeah, but
And
he
Huss
wants
also
he
cut
wants
my
to
hair
have a
also.
chat with us on
Done.
IGTV.
But on another topic,
Not another topic. I want to stick to life decisions today.
Yeah.
I'll tell you important life decisions.
We did start with Ayubi's important life decision to change his hairstyle, and it was a great decision. He looks great. I want to take
Thanks,
a photo
mate.
of you and upload it onto.
No, we're not
onto the
gonna
page
That's
after
not
this.
what we're doing.
But I want you to tell me
The life decision that I made was when I jumped from
a life decision.
when I jumped from being in the car industry for over 5 years, and I decided to teach,
You know, I remember that,
and it was a quick jump. Like
I remember that transition that you had. I want to ask you a question.
it taught me a lot.
For there are so many people out there that are currently in the predicament that you were in 5 years ago. They're currently in a job that I'm not going to say you didn't like the job, but this is the predicament they're in. They're in a job that they don't want to work in anymore, or a field they don't want to work in, or a person they don't want to work for. But they have the fear of the unknown, the fear of change. The idea of variable change for them is frightening.
The fear of the
What do you have to say to them?
the fear of the unknown. It's not negative. It's not a bad thing. It's good. The fear of the unknown
It keeps you on your toes.
keeps
I
you on your
think, yeah.
toes. But reacting to when you face the unknown, how you react is important. So for me,
But that's easier
shout out.
said than done.
well, shout out to my uncle at that time, because without me reaching out to him, I was used to working under a mentor for so many years, and I knew that there was a time where I had to step out of his shadow. And when I jumped into teaching, it was the first time in my life, because I left school and all I knew was uni and that field,
Yeah.
the car game. But it taught me a lot. But jumping into teaching, it's like wheels and cars and screwdrivers and whatever. Everything got to do with cars and sales. And then the classroom,
Screwdriver.
because I did year 6 for the first time. a classroom all day, and I'm stuck in. I felt like I was in the jail because I used to be free. I used to drive wherever I want.
It's a different type of lifestyle.
Yeah, and what hit me hard was I felt like I was just claustrophobic. I'm stuck with students all day, and I've never experienced it before other than my
What did you do to accommodate?
What I did was he randomly reached out to me and started giving me advice very slowly. So he'd water it down very slowly, and he told me the one advice that hit home was change. It's normal when you change your career and your environment to different environments. It's normal to feel shocked and overwhelmed. It's important to think of the long-term goals and the short-term goals, and to break down your work, prioritize your work.
And you know what? Look, I know this is been a bit about you for now, but I'm very happy.
I love talking
for
about
it,
me.
for it to be.
We can tell.
But you transitioned from a very successful car salesman,
More than the car salesman,
running
but
the
yeah,
car
in the
yard.
car-
You know
yeah,
what I mean, like
yeah.
in the car yard, to a successful teacher that I personally seen for myself, and now you started your own business after that. How was that second transition? Did you feel like, oh no, I'm doing it again? Because I know there are so many more people out there, or so many people out there that are in the same boat where they change lifestyles, they change workplaces, they change fields of study or work, and then they are still not content,
Well,
or they want to make a change again. How was it the second time?
the second time was I wanted to try and do something where it's very flexible, and it obviously makes me money. We want to make money. It was easier. The change was easier. I still had the fear of the unknown. It was there, but I was equipped with facing it and dealing with it. I'm at that position now again. And if I was to be in this position 5 years ago, I wouldn't be equipped with dealing with it the way I'm dealing with it now.
You mean with the mental strength?
With everything, mental, physical, planning, and being realistic. It's very important to be realistic and not delusional.
Were you also in a similar situation a few years back?
I remember his situation. Yeah.
Oh man, for the past 6-7 years or so,
Yeah.
6-7 years, I've started 2 different businesses, man. I had to take up 2 businesses from ground up.
And what about how you went from employee to employer?
Yeah, come on. So the first business was related to how I was an employee, because I was apprenticed and finished and whatever. And then I started my electrical business. But I think I had a lot of what Graham said, a lot of fake hopes, fake dreams.
Yeah.
So for example, I'd look at my wife and tell her, "No, I'm gonna take this company, make it a $5 million company in 2-3 years."
That was me with this.
Yeah, but that's not the problem. But I think I didn't have the work ethics to carry out that goal.
Do you mean passion?
Oh man, I was so passionate, but I didn't have the work ethics. In other words, waking up at a certain time, being a certain way, answering every call, answering every email on time.
So you're saying there are certain responsibilities that came with that sort of job responsibility.
I think whatever you're doing, if you have a business that collects garbage, honestly, if you have that business and you have trucks out there, it's a simple business. Call, pick up, drop off. Isn't that right? If you're not there and you don't have the right work ethics, you'll fail. So some people say, "Oh no, I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna be so relaxed. I'm gonna be so cruisy." No, you start a business. It's the complete opposite, and I've experienced it twice.
Wow.
So what's your advice as a business owner? Because now you're still a business owner in your
Correct.
second field. What's your advice to business owners or even employees that may want to change fields? Like how did you transition? Because thinking about it, for me, I've only done it once in my life, and thinking about the transition, moving from one space to another, having the fear of the unknown, it is something that has kept people working in the same place, even though they're not happy for 40 years plus.
Some people see that gut feeling that you get. You know that nauseousness you get when
That's right.
the fear of the unknown, and you start getting these butterflies in your stomach.
You overthink it a bit.
Man, I'm nauseous. I don't know what to do. I'm starting this and I'm starting that, and I don't know. That's the fear that keeps people away or drives people forward. If you know how to not control it, because it's somewhat uncontrollable, but you can mask it and you can move forward, or you can just decide to just say no. But again, we can't. I highly believe not everyone can be a business owner. Highly believe some people are just the way their brains are and the way they act. There should be
but
employees.
there are some people, a lot of people out there that don't want to be business owners. They're happy working for someone else to
And that's fine.
offload the responsibility. But there are still people, even in that situation, they change fields. They don't like their workplace, but they're too scared to go out there and change their life, to make that decision to move. For example, imagine someone working in retail their whole life, and then they turn around and start working in a completely different field.
Honestly, what's meant to be yours is meant to be yours. Don't be scared. Just jump out and do it. You're gonna do it. I went from electrical and to doing windscreens, car windscreens, a completely different shift.
You know, I
Even
do want to
the-
say it's easier said than done, but
100%.
what steps can someone take to ensure that they have a successful transition? What are some steps?
Well, the one thing that helped me a lot, believe it or not, this time around as well, was self-talk. So
Talk to yourself.
yeah, so
you walk yourself through the steps.
Self-reflection?
through the motions. Self-reflection helps a lot, but as in self-talk, the night before I'd sleep, I'd plan out my day the night before in my mind,
Yeah.
and it'll help me to bounce right out of bed. Then the routine of going to the car and driving, I'd self-talk myself with positive thoughts, and also a plan to move forward for that day. So I'm got reiterate what I thought of the night before, because I'd write it down on my phone.
You know what else I think is a major bit? Is a lot of people tell you, I don't know how. I don't know how. Yeah, man, everyone that started didn't know how.
That's right.
It's okay if you don't know how. It's okay. It's about how good are you at figuring out how to do this thing. So for example, in my career now in the automotive industry, I have windscreens.
That's right.
And for example, Kareem, in Toyota, how many different models of Toyota are there?
There's
Heaps.
over 50,
Yeah.
over 100.
So even, for example, Toyota Camrys, you have 5, 6, 7 different, if not more, 10 different shapes. So you can't learn it. You can't. It's a trade that you learn the basics, but you can't learn the entire trade.
Or your new car comes out.
Every year, every brand brings out new cars. You can't learn it. So you can't ever say, and that's something that pushed me out of my comfort zone and really changed my life. I can never say, oh, I don't know how. It doesn't matter. You're never going to know how. You have to go and do it and figure it
Wow,
out.
I really, really like that.
You have to figure it out.
That's true. You know, you're never going to know what's there waiting for you behind a door of a new job opportunity or a new career.
Well,
You know, when changing careers, you know, personally, when I changed, when I
I was just going
transitioned
to ask you, yeah.
from teaching to, you know, running my own business, the first thing was, what's my story? When I say my story means, what are my strengths? Who am I? What are my skills? What's my skill set? What are my qualifications? How can I didn't think to myself, how can I successfully run a business? What do I know and what do I need to know to make sure I can successfully run this business? And that's something very important.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because you have to assess yourself first. Don't say, oh, I don't have enough skill set to start something new or to be in that industry. If you really want to make a change, acquire the skill set that you need and move into that new industry.
And even when making that change, if you are thinking of making that change, you don't need to jump into it straight away. You can slowly jump into it.
Educate yourself, sort of
You
thing.
can educate yourself, do a lot of research. If it's a business, come up with a business plan. One of the key things that reflecting on the adventure that I started now, was I should have put more research into the business plan and made sure that it was well thought of, because there were a lot of costs that arise that I did not account for. And financially it was a bit, it had a bit of a strain more than I wished it did. So, but like what you said, when you start your own business, I did think, because I had never started my own business, that I'll get it to a stage quickly where it can be that comfort, you know, and you're more relaxed. But you'll be.
You know what's big, but you know what's massive, I think? A massive, massive, massive step. If you hang out with so-called losers, in other words, sooks that don't want to work, that just want to complain and blame their problems on everyone, if you're the type of person that has that type of friends around you,
you gave me goosebumps.
I think that's time to leave. Either stop them or it's time to leave these friends.
Definitely, if you have people that are keeping you stagnant in your life and they're not allowing you to move forward and take the next step,
bit, man.
definitely that's going to be a big big or major obstacle that
Yeah.
you'll need to overcome. Otherwise, you're going to stay where you are. And
Yeah.
In
a
life,
lot of the time, from what I see personally, the main obstacle that majority of people need to overcome to have a successful business, or not even forget business owners,
Be successful in
even
general.
be successful in transitioning careers.
Yeah.
The biggest obstacle is themselves.
Yeah. 100%.
Having the confidence to make that change. I can speak from experience. You can speak from experience. You can speak from experience. We all had to go through that transition and build the confidence to make that change and say, yes, I can change careers. I can change jobs without worrying about what's coming next.
and just moving forward in life, we need to keep moving forward. Once you start moving back, you get stuck in that world that I told you about. If we put that mindset that regardless of what I'm going to face, I'm going to keep moving forward. It's like all the
Plow
clogs
through,
in your brain, in your machine, in the brain. It's like a cycle that's turning, and you need to keep that oiled machine going well. You know,
Man, that American statement, I think it's so true. There's nothing to it but to do it.
yeah,
There's-
100%.
Yeah, you never know. But I want to go back to the point of friends. If you surround yourself by successful people, not necessarily successful as in millionaires,
No,
but people that are successful in life,
Mindset.
that they call winners. In other words, a person that you stay next to, and this person is a positive human being that likes to go forward. And if you're with him, he doesn't mind you going forward with him. So in other words, that mentality starts rubbing off on you.
becomes very
yeah.
infectious.
It's different to hanging out with someone that's telling you, "Oh, why would you want to change? You've
And
already
then-
spent 5 years in this job, and you've built so much knowledge
I've
and
seen that, man.
qualification and understanding."
I was managing a person once. This person comes under my management. Such a positive person, such a hard worker, extremely positive and extreme hard worker. He works for around 6 months. In these 6 months, we had another worker that had a very negative mentality, likes to blame everyone for his problems. He's the type, that guy's the problem. He never likes to point himself, say, I was at fault. He likes to blame everyone for his laziness. He never liked to work. He tried to push work off. That hardworking, positive person is now one of the most negative human beings I know. And I'm not kidding. He's so negative that it's so toxic. When you sit next to him, you're like, I don't want to sit next to this guy.
Wow. And you know what's upsetting?
Yeah.
A lot of the time, people like that are the type of people that drag you down.
For sure.
They drag you down, and they keep you stagnant. They keep you in that same position for so long, and even though you might be the type of person that wants to grow, you don't feel like you have the room or the space to
Yeah.
grow.
Well, you don't
Yeah.
need those people in your life. It's very important to surround yourself with positive people, and not what I mean by positive people, not people that are lying to you and telling you, "Yeah, it's
No,
going to be
no.
all right." Realistic, positive people,
Yeah.
where they tell you, "Okay, you stuffed up here," and you trust their advice, but they're still positive. They are solution focused people. In life, it's important to be
Yeah.
solution focused.
100%.
Taking ownership for your actions, for the results of your actions. Like I'll give you me, for example. I went on this venture for 8 months. Yes, there was a bushfires. Yes, there was COVID. It was the wrong time to start this. But I'm taking ownership for my actions, and I'm going to think of a way to solve it. Whether
That's
I
right.
continue with it or not,
You have to.
I know that I need to come up with a solution. And any venture you start, even if you're working for someone, there will always be solutions. It's about how you come up with it.
Just don't be a sook. Just
And,
do it.
and you know,
That'd
you
be
know,
yes, that's right.
a lot of the time, moving forward from one career to another, and I am using that one career. I'm not going from employee to employer.
Whatever
I
it is.
don't want to move.
It's
from,
just a
from-
shift
yeah,
of whatever.
like going into that shift from one career to a different career. One of the easiest things that you can do is build a roadmap. Think to yourself, there has to be someone else in this world who's made the change that you're looking to make,
Yeah, man.
and
It's common. It's the
and
old
at the
first
same
one.
time, they're making the change that you're looking to make from the same industry. There are so many people that went from being, for example, teachers to doing trade,
Yeah.
from trade to I know people that went from tradesmen to lawyers.
I know someone who went from engineering to opening up his own business got to do with computers.
I know many people that went from accounting to owning their own cafe.
What about the actor that he went from being a doctor? His entire family
he's
is
a
doctors.
comedian.
Yeah, he went to becoming an actor, comedian, actor. That's man. He thought to himself, "I'm extremely high paid.
Yeah.
I'm doing very well." But he decided to do the change.
And that went back to also now I think I know what celebrity you're talking about.
That
But
Chinese guy.
yeah, I don't know if he's Chinese.
Oh, no, Asian
He's
guy.
somewhere from the Asian Pacific. But you do need to tap into your network of contacts. See who else has made a similar transition, who else has made a similar change, and speak to them. What steps did they take? What advice can they give you, and make the change?
That's it, man. Just do it.
And when making the change, like what you said, I know we spoke about this already. The people that you surround yourself with are often the reflection of who you are. So if
100%.
you surround yourself with people who like to party every week, do crazy stuff, and
Most likely you're going to be dragged
you-
into it.
even if you say to yourself that no, I have self control, you will be dragged into the scene that your friends, your inner circle, shape for you.
You know how many people have complained about having that sort of lifestyle? They have mentioned that initially they used to enjoy it, going out till sunrise
Yeah.
every single weekend and spending 3 days in a row going out and not coming home, and doing all sorts of things. And their feedback and responses were that they said that those experiences were probably the worst experiences of their life
man.
and decisions, because it became stringent on them to move forward and become successful in their
Yeah.
life.
100%.
And especially because social media and society has built this facade that this is what a fun
person
or
should
happy
look like, for example.
lifestyle looks like, when in reality it's not the case.
Nah, man. That's how the depressed person looks like.
That's what's sad, is that society and the media portray a lot of things like the ideal body, the ideal lifestyle, and it's often very unrealistic.
They even tell you, for example, they tell you straight out, they tell you, we drink alcohol so we can be happier. So in other words, you weren't happy in the first place, or to mask some sort of sensation, or to mask a feeling. So it means they needed something to mask how they feel.
Look, I'm sure everyone's heard about that. That new sort of, it's not considered a drug, it's not considered illegal, but that thing in the silver capped bottle. You see it on the news, it's been in the news for quite some time.
Silver cap.
I forgot what its name. It's like a gas. They use it. I forgot what they use it for. But you can purchase it from anywhere. It's not illegal to purchase, and people are inhaling that gas and getting high off it.
Is it the whipped cream gas?
I'm not sure.
It's little bottles.
Yeah, the
it's
little one, the silver
that's
one.
It's well, chefs use it for, the handmade whipped cream with the
Yeah.
little bottles. They push the gas on the top of the bottle and just pressurizes the cylinder. Yeah, it's intoxicating, that gas.
And people use it to get high off it.
Because it's not
and-
so illegal to buy it as a gas, because chefs have to buy it so they can do their thing.
But the upsetting thing is people are resorting to such lows to use these things for
Just
for
to get. They tell you it's called to get a high. In other words, he was in a low place.
But
He
what I
needed
was
to get a high.
told by someone is, because it's fun, and it helps me escape from my problems.
I think
that's
they
a
don't know
key
what fun
question.
is, man.
And it helps me escape from my problems. That's a key question. If you're the type that you're running away from your problems and you're using things which are toxic to your body or to your mind, and you're masking your problems, it's time to figure out what is the problem.
And I completely 100% agree with you, and I love the point you just made, honestly, because he just mentioned something so excellent, which was these people, well, a lot of people, which is upsetting, they use these things for short-term
So they think it's a solution.
solutions.
Yeah.
When in reality, wake up to yourself. You go after everything is over, after the high is over, the problems are still there. You need to be solution focused, like Mustafa Crane mentioned
I'll tell
earlier.
you this story. There's a famous boxer. His name is Tyson Fury. He's a mental health advocate, but his story is so amazing in terms of this guy. He beat Klitschko, who was an undefeated boxer for like 11 years.
Yeah.
He beat him. He had all the money in the world. He's got family and kids. Then do you know what he did after he lost? After he won, he jumped in his car 3 days later, and he was going to kill himself. He was driving his Lamborghini.
A lot of people are like that, man.
Guess what happened to him? He was morbidly obese. So he went from being the best boxer in the world to putting on over 100 kilos or 85 kilos overweight, morbidly obese, about to die. And then guess what? Snapped him out of it.
What?
He woke up one day and he said he has no goals anymore. He felt like he achieved everything in his
I
life.
just got goosebumps.
Because
And-
he thought the pinnacle of his goals
The
was to get
ultimate-
the championship.
Yeah, that's right. He thought that he reached the ultimate part of his career, the
Pinnacle.
The pinnacle. Then 2 days later, he was ready to commit suicide. What? Who would have thought? They all laughed at him.
Yeah.
Boxers started making fun of him because he took a photo training and he's obese. Guess what he did? 3 tune-up fights. He came back and won the world championship, and he beat the 44-0, I think, Deontay Wilder, undefeated American, who's an
Wow.
absolute a KO. He's KO'd
You know what
41 or 44 fights.
You know what I think a big problem is, unfortunately? Procrastinating. So people don't want to fix their problems, or they're scared of
They
fixing.
delay.
They're
just
scared
keep
of the
delaying.
change, even when it comes to fixing problems. He tells you, I'm here now. I know what's here. I'm scared of what's upcoming, so I don't want to fix it. I'll just leave it. I'll procrastinate. I'll deal with it later. This will mask it for now. I'll deal with it later, whatever. That makes them not face their problems. So these things are masking them from facing their problems. I think the way to do it is just to get up and say, nah, that's it. I want to change from something to something, or I want to fix this something. There's no other way to do it but to put that mentality in.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, it's even as simple, like, for example, today you and I were going on about our walking adventures that we like and how helpful it's been to our life.
Yeah,
Just walking for 45 minutes.
so nice.
Today,
100, man, it changed me on a mental level.
watch this. Today I got sucked in a bit because I love my naps. I
Yeah.
love them. I jumped in bed at 4 o'clock and I was going to have a half an hour nap. Usually that half an hour would be 2 hours if I wanted to. I thought, no, I want to have a 20-minute nap because it was so cozy in winter and it's cold.
Yeah.
But as soon as I get out of that nap, I want to get up and do my walk. I have to get it done. So I called you out.
That's
what
I
I meant.
was driving back from work.
Yeah, no. So I took a video with my
But you know
45-minute
what?
walk. It's a routine I have.
That G'd me up so much. I saw you calling me out on Instagram.
Yeah, I was checking in.
I'm like, you know what? I need to get this work
That's right.
walk done, but I was so late. We'll have this podcast. I can't. Tomorrow, I'll do double.
But see that's the positive influence we
But
have on
I kid
one
you not,
another.
Halbuni. I kid you not. These walks have literally changed me on a mental level. They change you come back happy. You come back so relaxed. You feel like,
You know,
oh,
I read an article about 3 years ago about the benefits of walking,
yeah,
and they showed a graph, an MRI graph,
yeah.
showing the activity in the brain
Wow.
post walking, and then only 20 minutes after walking,
20-minute walk.
the neural handshakes that were happening, or neural
I know what they
connections,
call it. Connections. That's what they call it.
that were
handshake.
happening in the brain after 20 minutes
Wow.
of walking. It was exemplary, honestly.
Man, this guy just motivated me even more.
Honestly, so the benefit, so the article went on to start discussing the mental health benefits, the physical benefits. Imagine your brain, the neural connections in your brain are firing consistently, and they're on a up.
Man, as they say, firing on all cylinders.
Yeah,
You're ready. You're ready.
Yeah, and you're getting these positive results. You're having dopamine released into your brain, which is something that makes you feel good. That's why after a short walk, even though it might tire some people out, you feel good.
And you know what? A lot of people, even in change, they're honestly scared to change even this. So they stay at home. For example, their routine is okay, but they're scared to change their routine from okay to good or to even better. They're scared. They don't like change that much. They wouldn't go for a walk.
Imagine your body and your mind. Yeah, if you have an expensive car, what would you neglect the car?
Nah,
You change the oils.
You have to service all of it.
You'd service the car. You'd
The
change the
tires,
filters,
oils, everything.
So picture your body as a well-oiled machine,
Yeah.
and you need to service your body.
But your body is your body's all pumps and filters, liver
They
and
built
kidney
cars
and this
based on
and pump.
bodies.
Yeah.
And airplanes based on bodies, just in terms of the way they all connect together. So imagine your own body. You service that machine, a simple walk of half an hour with your heart rate 100 beats per minute, depending how old you are. That simple walk will do so much good. And we spoke about this the other day.
Yeah.
You automatically plan the route. Don't give yourself excuses and say you can only walk in the
And what about
that's
the
amazing.
route? What about the route you gave us the other day?
Yeah,
next to the river.
yeah. I gave him a route where I did cross country.
We went this 45-minute route.
serious?
Yeah, when they cheated in
Or
cross
it's
country.
all it's he's still on about how they cheated him in the
Because
third
I
place.
explained the whole thing to him.
We know. We heard
Remember when it
we
rained,
heard
you
it
were
in
there?
podcast 1.
As soon as we walked into the park, this bloke comes up to me. He goes, "That's the park. They cheated and they won, and I was supposed to be first." And then when we got to the point, he goes, "That's the place where they cheated." I'm like, "Man, I don't care anymore."
You know,
I
I'm
don't
going to
care.
ask you a
You need to
question
let it go.
because lately you've been walking consistently in the mornings or the evenings. Honestly, walking early in the morning, has that made you forget physical activity? Has it made your day more productive?
Yeah, man. It's again, like you said, you feel active. Your brain is ready. If you go to work, let's say your routine is I wake up at 7, I go to work, get dressed, I leave my house at 7:30. So you gave yourself the half an hour to just run like a maniac, as they say. Get dressed, wash up, boom, boom. That's not a healthy mentality. That's not the way it should be. But if you say to yourself, I'm going to get up at 6:30, I'm going to go for a 45-minute walk immediately. I have my clothes ready from the night previous. I have my walking shorts, walking shoes, whatever. As soon as I get up, quick wash up, put my walking stuff on, and I pound and I just run.
And
for
the
it.
wash up is just washing your face and drinking
go
a bit
for
of
it.
water.
Imagine coming back
Faster
40 minutes
cardio.
later, you still have half an hour to get ready. However, but now you're mentally just ready.
You know, a lot of people blame these issues on mental blocks. So they're not able
It
to
is.
overcome this fear of the unknown due to, this mental block
It's
of
the fear of
I
change
can't
too.
wake up half an hour earlier and go for a walk, then come back and prepare for work. People in their mind, they're saying, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to take Crayon back to mid 2018,
Oof.
where he had this, not a slogan, what do they call it?
Motto?
No, not a motto. It has there's a different word.
What are we talking about?
I'm trying to remember 2018. A lot happened that year.
It's like a self slogan.
Oh, I had this.
No, I know what the slogan is. I need the word to describe the slogan. I'm going
It's
to
like
get
a
the.
theme.
I'll get the word anyway. He goes. He kept repeating this so many times throughout our week. I can't. Yes, I can.
Oh, yeah. I
Do you
said.
remember that mid
what I-
2018?
I was on this tangent where every day, because I faced certain obstacles, I'd say I can't, and yes I can. I'd delete the T and the comma,
Mm-hmm.
and when you take off the T and the comma, what happens?
The T and the I can.
I can.
Yeah.
So it's simple as I plastered that name.
I've seen
word.
that sticker somewhere.
Yeah, I can't. I took off the T and the comma, and I just visualized. I believed in myself. I can.
You have to.
I'd have a new project within my teaching, like I'd do a new tournament that I've never ran before, for example. I know it sounds simple, but instead of thinking I can't, think I can, and I'm going to work as hard as I can. And if there's any problems that I face, I'm going to address them in the next event.
Yeah. You've got a big one for you, Halbuni. And ties in. They interviewed this multi-millionaire of a businessman. I had a brain freeze.
If he's a multi-millionaire, I'm
He's a
assuming he's a business.
They interviewed him. He said his father was the type that he works for the same company. He likes security. He doesn't like to step out of his
Comfort zone.
thing. They go to him, what made you like that? He said, my uncle. They go, what did your uncle teach you?
I've heard this, yeah.
His uncle taught him, there's never such a thing as I can't afford this. That's not the phrase you go about it. It's how can I get this?
Wow.
How do I achieve this?
Wow.
It's not I can't get this. I can't afford this.
I
can't.
like it.
How do I achieve it? I want to reach that stage. How do I achieve it and attack it? Because I think it's exactly what Kraim said. If you put the I can't at the beginning of your phrase, you're
Man,
already stuffed yourself
You know
up.
what's really nice? You mentioning that point there.
Yeah.
How can I achieve that? How can I overcome this
Yeah.
obstacle? You know what that goes back to? Understanding the fear,
Yeah.
understanding the issue. And I'm sure Mustafa Kraim will agree with me when I say this. If you have a problem in your life,
He's about to get blasted one more time.
if you
If you have a problem in your life.
if you have a problem in your life, and
got
you want to
99 problems.
overcome this
And the
problem,
girl I won. It's true.
Is that a remix?
No, I have 99 problems and the girl is not one.
when you proclaiming these issues on the podcast, man, your mum's not going to be happy listening to this.
How do you know she just messaged me?
And
Because
is he-
when we seen her last time, she was telling me about what she's been hearing on the podcast.
Yeah, do you know what's funny? She randomly, like, she'll wake up at 4 in.the morning randomly, and I'll wake up to my voice.
Like, what's going on? Am I hallucinating?
She's found out she's not tech savvy with the iPhone. She's found out she tunes in through Spotify. I don't know how she does
His
it.
mum
Wow.
is so cute, man.
That is,
honestly.
that's nice.
But I wanted to mention, you've been in certain situations where you've been in a certain problem. You want to come on certain obstacle. You want to overcome a certain obstacle, but you did not understand the obstacle. How difficult was that to overcome?
It was like staring at blurred lines.
What did you do to? How did you dissect the problem?
again-
How did you go to understanding the obstacle? Because you can't overcome an obstacle until you understand what it is.
It's exactly what it is. He said, how can I do this? Means you have to dissect this. You have to
Problem.
dissect it and say, I can attack it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you don't have the understanding that maybe this is not your field.
And you know what? For everyone listening out there, this is not just something just to motivate you for 5 minutes.
No.
These are things you should take on board. This is something we all should take on board.
It's true. I didn't realize my chair was making that noise. I'm
It's
sorry.
squeaking.
Yeah, I know.
I thought there was a dog barking.
Yeah, or his stomach growling.
Again, by telling you all this, it's based on our own life experience. We aren't motivational experts or psychologists, but this is what we've tried and it's worked with us, and we thought we'd share it with you, especially to all those who are listening to every single show. To answer your question was what my uncle taught me. That one piece of advice. He always taught me to prioritize your problems. So if you have 10 different problems,
See which one.
prioritize them.
Put them in order. Which one's the worst?
Which one's the
Work 'em
worst
down.
problem? Don't try to tackle all your problems at once. Target
You can't.
the highest,
Yeah.
what the highest priority, fix out, then move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Don't fix all your problems at once.
Or don't try.
Imagine how overwhelmed you'd be
That's
trying to
right.
think, I've got 50 problems, I've got to fix all of them.
You know, it's like
Or as Cream says,
it's
99.
like you're holding, for example, 2 watermelons,
Yeah.
and someone tells you
Here, hold a third.
hold a third.
And you can't juggle.
Yeah, and let's say your hands get too full, and this is a great representation of things in life. If you're trying to juggle too many problems at once, definitely you're going to start failing
Yeah.
more in certain areas. So take things one step at a time, or take things piece by piece until you start to plan
Yeah.
your progress. How are you going to move from an unsuccessful situation to a
To a
successful one?
And honestly, how simple is it? Like, even though we're in the age of information, age of technology, where if you need something, you research it, you get so much info about it that it's easier. Even though we have that, unfortunately, we are probably at the highest rate of anxiety, highest rate of depression, for as known.
Put your phone's on silent.
My phone is
Where's-
on silent, man.
Mine is not on vibrate.
What is it on?
Is it on phantom
No, that's
vibration
your
syndrome?
phone.
Oh, it is.
Oh, I
Sorry,
had
bro.
phantom vibration syndrome the other day.
He did. He
And
didn't want to tell
you're
you.
laughing at me.
Yeah, I had it. I took my
He guessed
phone
to
out
me, I don't want
twice.
to tell halbuni.
I took my phone out twice and I thought I received a notification.
He goes, I don't want to tell halbuni. I had phantom. What? What's it called?
Phantom vibration syndrome.
I just said it and I just forgot it. You know why he said that? He goes, I don't want to tell him that I learned something from him.
Why not?
He doesn't want to give you the credit. He doesn't give you make you happy about it. So anyhow, guys, what's wrong with you?
Why did you have
Everyone just went quiet.
Why did you have that? Just like that mind blank, just there.
Because there's something in your brain, they say.
Yeah.
It's like a muscle. It's called resistance.
Yeah.
The more you exercise it,
Yeah.
the more you build resilience. And that
Yes.
resistance in your brain, it pushes you not to go through with it. Like you get those little whispers in your ear, oh, it's too hard.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't. You get these negative inclinations.
Or
You're-
just leave it. You're good where you
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
Just stay.
And your body naturally leans towards
Lazy.
comfort.
Yeah, it does.
Your body leans towards comfort and I'll tell you, I like to have a lot of naps. I like to sometimes do the easy way out. My body leans towards that. All of us we all lean to comfort. But putting yourself...
Do you mean we're all into comfort, or do we all lean to the easy part?
Both.
The easy path.
It's comfortable. Easy is comfortable.
It's true. I agree with you.
No one, for example, if you're putting on size at the gym, you don't get there through shortcuts. You put in the work, you put in the effort, you put in the time. Nothing comes easy.
That's exactly right. I think that's a major bit. Man, if you want something successful, or if you want to succeed in anything, you've got to grind it out. There's no other way. There's no other way to success but hard work.
That's right.
There's nothing to. You can't say, "Oh, this is a quick thing. This is a quick fix." If you want to succeed in life, in any part of life, you have to be hardworking at it. You don't work hard at it. You just it's
Do
not happen.
you know what's funny? My childhood experiences with this actually helped me with a lot of the things that I faced when I was an adult.
Yeah.
As simple as, for example, when I first started running, I used to run for the sake of running, and then I'd say I'm going to run an extra kilometer because it's harder.
Yeah.
And then the next time I'd run, I'd say I want to run an extra kilometer
Yeah.
just to explore my area. I was young. Then bike riding, I didn't know how to bike ride. Then I started bike riding with one hand, only holding one hand. Then I
Yeah.
started bike riding with no hands. Then it became that easy with the hill. I wanted to explore hills.
So you wanted to challenge yourself with
Wow,
it.
you know that scenario is a great representation of the two types of fear.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, because there is fear that will protect you and harden your senses to threatening situations. This is a good fear to listen to. Then there is the fear that paralyzes you and stops you from living your life to the fullest.
Watch this. This will answer this. You remember this time of my life. I was a sportaholic. I played every single
what?
sport. A sportaholic.
Is that a word?
Sportaholic. I made it up now.
All right, go.
And then I had a knee reconstruction when I was 16. Yeah?
I've heard about this knee reconstruction
Everyone's
for at
heard
least
about it.
25 times in the past week.
Because I was... Hey,
Okay, you heard about it 25 times. I lived through the era of Mustafa Kraim's knee reconstruction.
but look what I did. I know I was young, but this skill helped me till today.
Yes.
I said to myself, if I can't play sport anymore, what am I going to do? Before I had surgery, I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I need something that keeps me active. I decided to start training.
Yeah.
I just took training so seriously, bodybuilding,
Bodybuilding, yeah.
building on muscle. I said the strongest I can be if I can't play sport is putting on muscle.
Yeah.
And that discipline allowed me to overcome the surgery
You know
because
what,
the surgery was, I couldn't walk.
I remember that time was actually a very sad time for him.
Mm.
Everyone at school felt sorry for him.
Because he told everyone about his reconstruction.
No, because-
Not just
No,
that,
no,
but
because
Even the
I
teachers?
would see him after that
Yeah.
ensuring that he would ride his bike to the gym every single day or catch a bus, ride his bike,
Yeah.
whatever he needed to do to get to the gym every single day when he planned, let's say 3 or 4 times that week, and make sure that he gets some sort of training into him. And slowly, those positive changes that he made in his lifestyle, they can be seen today.
Yeah.
Because now he's active in terms of training. He tries to maintain a healthy and fit lifestyle. And, you know, I'll commend him on that because that's absolutely excellent compared to so many people that
They would
start...
have gone backwards from that point on.
They start...
I'm not joking
They
with
reach
you.
a very good situation and then they get hit hard by
Yeah.
having a knee reconstruction is huge.
I had
Especially
this,
for an athlete or someone athletic.
I had
Don't
this
say athlete.
No,
Don't
athlete.
say athlete.
Hey,
because
athletic.
top 1%. But seriously, I had this.
This
I-
guy saw us at the gym the other day. He gets to him, you are the top 1%.
Yeah.
I was just ready to blast him.
No, he told him, "What are you doing?" Because he heard a snippet. He heard the part where we were having a
He
laugh.
tapped him on the shoulder. He goes, you are the top 1%.
I had the knee reconstruction at 15, yeah. But what happened? I went from the reality of being so quick and relying on my speed to waking up out of surgery. I just opened my eyes on the bed, and my knee is this big, and the muscle on my leg was this small.
Oh, wow.
My quads were this big, and then
just for everyone that can't see, Mustafa Graves had his hand, his hand sizing. That he
so
has. His,
my quads were this big.
so
Chicken
that's the
leg.
diameter of about 6 centimeters.
So that's his quads. And what about your knee?
My knee was this big
Okay,
with the
that's
blood
it.
and the bandage.
So now everyone knows.
Yeah, so I went from being so mobile, so agile, and I relied on that. And I had weaknesses, but they were my strengths. And then I went from that to, if I caught, the first time I went to the beach,
Yeah.
it was there. I caught a wave, That was the first time I was able to go back to the beach. I caught a wave and I put a hamstring in the middle of the wave.
Oh.
But I'm
Lucky
telling
it
you,
wasn't too deep.
because I had an automatic hamstring tear. So
It'd
I'm
be just
screaming
two
out
sticks
my
here.
knee. The whole slogan for the next 6 months was my knee. They'd make fun of me. My knee, my knee. Because
He would have done what the Arab saying is. He would have drowned in a handspan of water.
yeah, 100%. I caught a wave and I pulled a hamstring. And I'm like, my leg. And my friend's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, help me. I pulled a hamstring. And they got used to it. Look, when I first started playing sport, look at this. What's it called? Breaker, ego breaker. They passed the ball to me playing soccer, and I just started being able to run again. My brain, because there's something called muscle receptors, where they say they tell your brain to activate so you can move.
Yeah,
The
muscle
muscle.
memory or
The muscle receptors.
yeah.
So they passed the ball to me. My brain is telling me, and I know the technique, lift up your ball and stop the ball. By the time my brain and the muscle receptor worked because of the knee reconstruction, I lifted up my leg and I just seen the ball go behind me. It was there. Then I was one-on-one with the keeper and they all asked me, why didn't you shoot? Like, you did everything. I beat 4 or 5 players.
And why didn't you shoot the
Because
ball?
my leg,
After knee reconstruction.
yeah, my leg went back. I'm not joking.
Why didn't they ever pay him?
No, I wasn't.
Why didn't they?
I didn't reach that high.
He didn't look for payouts.
Oh, no, he didn't.
But my leg went back, yeah.
yeah.
Something so simple. I went to kick the ball. I couldn't kick the ball. My mind's telling me kick. But by the time the action happened, the keeper got the ball and they're ready.
You know, I'm going to stop you there and tell you something because I know your life after that, how it was and how much you pushed to improve yourself as, I'm not going to say an athlete, but as someone that's heavily involved in sports. He did not accept failure as an option.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that's so important because
Yeah, it
if
is.
you accept failure, if you say to, I'm not saying identifying failure, that's different. So we can understand that it's possible for us to fail, and we can
It
say
is.
this is a possibility, and we understand that. But he
most
didn't accept
likely.
it. He kept pushing forward, no matter what the outcome. He kept training. He kept building those muscles around his knee, and his hamstring,
Yeah.
to ensure that his leg or his knee is supported.
Supported properly.
And there's people who, for example, have had two knee surgeries. So they've had I know someone who's had 3 knee reconstructions,
Yeah.
but they still found a way to make it happen.
Yeah, man.
There was no excuses. So it's like a game. They were on level 155. After the surgery, they went back to level 0. Okay,
What are you going to do now?
how am I going to get back to level 1? Now
Yeah.
I've reached level 5. Now I can walk. Now I can run straight.
Yeah.
Now I can sprint. Now I can step. Just like a Game Boy game.
Man,
Levels.
we were talking about hardworking. Little thing popped in my mind. You know Ronnie Coleman? Halbuni,
Yeah.
you know Ronnie Coleman?
Yeah, he's a bodybuilder.
8 times Mr. Olympia, the most renowned. One of the biggest bodybuilders to step on stage.
Biggest.
To this day, from the 90s to now, no
Can I
one
just
matched him.
can I just throw something out there? For everyone out there, the reason why Ayubi asked me if I know Ronnie Coleman is because I have no clue when it comes to bodybuilding.
But anyhow, so you don't have a clue when it comes to bodybuilding. You knew Ronnie Coleman. So his trainer, Graham, I don't know if you've heard this, his trainer sat
Larry
him
Wills.
down. He goes to him and he had another set of, because his trainer trained Flex Wheeler and all these other famous bodybuilders, very famous guys. And he started asking them one by one, be honest with me, the comp is done. How many cheat meals did you get in? Because they weren't supposed to. One guy would tell him, I'll do 1 a week. The other guy would tell him, I'll do 3 a week. So they'll start confessing to how many cheat meals they did because the comp's over. There's no need to hide it from their trainer anymore. Then he got to Ronnie. He goes to him, how many cheat meals did you have in the whole 12 weeks of prep? In 12 weeks, 6 meals a day. He goes to him, how many cheat meals did you have? He goes to him, what? Cheat meals? He goes, I didn't even know we can do cheat meals. He never had not one cheat meal in 12 weeks of
he was
prep.
dedicated.
He didn't. He was so dedicated. He didn't even think that was an option. He never thought that such a thing was an option to have a cheat meal.
Wow.
He thought the way to win is this, and I'm only doing
Dedication and
this.
sticking to what he believes is going to lead him to
And
success.
everyone, man, amongst the most successful, they say whenever Ronnie took his shirt off to go on stage, we were all demotivated. We all knew this comp's over.
Wow. Look, I'm going to mention a statement, and I want to hear your thoughts about it. Do you agree with it or do you
Tell me.
disagree? The one thing that is constant in our lives is change. We live in a world of constant and at times disruptive change.
Yeah.
the more we resist the change, the more it will persist in our lives.
That's deep, man. That's deeper than that Will Graham was talking about before.
I want to get a whiteboard. So next time I talk about the will, I'll draw it up.
Man, I think the attribute, everyone's attribute in this world, humans, animals, everyone, our attributes are changing. So I think it's just natural in this world that change happens. So it's
But Will, if
either
we
you jump on
resist
the-
the change in
Yeah.
our life, things happen in our life.
yeah,
We're getting older.
yeah,
We understand that our bodies don't work the same.
Yeah.
Our minds don't work the same. Things change in our life. You know, we make more money, we make less money. You
Yeah.
know, we meet more people, we're friends with less people. The more we resist the change, is it that the more it will persist in our lives?
persist as in or work against us.
So the
or-
more I resist the change, the more I say no,
Push
it's
it
not
back.
the case. I'm not getting old.
yeah,
You know, I don't need to focus more on my health. No, I don't need to study more for this test. No, I don't need to
Yeah.
push harder to achieve my goal. The more I resist this change, the more it will persist in our lives.
what do you mean by
The
persist?
more it'll be ever current in your life.
Yeah,
It'll keep
the
coming.
longer
Yeah.
it'll stay there, the longer
Yeah.
it'll keep popping up.
Of course.
It's like for
Example.
Of course.
I'm going to let you give us an
It's
example.
like an example.
Take it home, man.
Athletes that reach 35 towards the end of their career, and father time's approaching, and they stay on for too long.
yeah, yeah, and they have a bad ending.
They resist the change. They say, no, one more year, one more
Yeah.
year. Then the last year of their
Have
athletic
a huge injury.
career will be either a huge injury or the worst season, and they
Yeah, all
played
the
on for too long. They didn't got. Not many athletes can go
They
out
don't-
on top.
But I think that's a major point. Many people don't, especially when it comes to the age bit, especially when it comes to that, it's like people are refusing to understand that they're getting older. Everyone's getting older. That's how
Yeah,
the world
it's-
works. We're just going upwards. You get older. That's how it is. And many people, and I see amongst our fathers, the generations before us, maybe that'll happen to us later. I don't know. Depends on the person, obviously. You see them, they get older. You tell them you shouldn't be working as hard physically, or you shouldn't be doing so and so. And when you tell these people such a thing, it's like they get offended. It's like, why would you tell me that I can't work physically as hard as I did before? And then when you explain to him, because you're at a higher risk,
You're
you
getting
have
older.
more problems. You have back problems, neck problems,
Knee problems.
so many. You can't. You're risking a very high injury, and you're
You know,
gonna sit on your behind for a very long time.
It's very true. And to these people, I would say to them, the more you open up to the concept of change, the more resilient and courageous you will become in moving forward.
yeah.
Because people,
For
you need to
sure.
understand, okay, I am changing. My body is changing, for example. Or my life is changing. I'm getting married. I have kids. The more you open up to the concept of this change, the more resilient and courageous you'll become in finding solutions and finding the confidence to move forward.
Accepting the change.
Wow.
And how many times does the change, like Harbuni said, look scary, but when you change and when you accept the change, how much positives comes
Wow.
out? Come out of it?
Sometimes you look back and you think, what
As if
was
I
I
resisted that.
even afraid of?
But that's where you're open for the change.
Yeah,
You're
correct.
accepting the change,
Yeah,
and you're not putting yourself down. You're influencing yourself with positivity,
that
Where
this is changing, but
this
I'm
is
going to make the
changing,
most of it.
and I'm going to get the work done. And then when you overcome it, you realize you've acquired a new skill. So the next time there's change, you've already dealt with it. Okay,
And-
here we go again.
You know what's such a simple example of this? Children,
Yeah,
babies.
man.
Think about when they're trying to take their first steps. You can see that they're scared.
Yeah,
Honestly, taking their first step,
they're terrified.
they're still trying to understand their body, but they make that change, and once they go from not being able to move
But
to
what an
rolling
example
over.
you just mentioned.
You know, it's
Because
a crawling
if you
to,
think
to
about it,
walking.
they have to be courageous because they're scared and they're terrified from falling. But at the same time, they're so excited seeing their parents walk and do these things. They think they overcome and they plaster over it and they said, I'm doing this, I don't care. And
That's the amazing thing. Like we can look at these young ones and say
that's a
they have a fear.
Yeah.
Of course, they get scared of taking their first steps. It's normal, but they go ahead and push anyway. Now, some people might say, "Yeah, but children, they don't understand responsibility. They don't understand these things, but they understand fear."
It's the concept, man. It's the
And
concept
if they
of what's
can-
happening.
If they can push forward, so can we.
Yeah. Sometimes, man, the smallest things in life, they give you a meaning that you needed to like.
Your first time you rode a bike. Come on.
Yeah, man, yeah. And why would you ride a bike? Because you saw other children do it. You're so scared. I'm gonna fall. But yeah, I want to do this anyway because it seems so fun. All the kids are laughing and doing it.
I remember, I still till this day, I remember the first time I rode a bike.
Wow.
I remember the first time I rode a bike, it was me, my younger brother, and my sister.
All on the same bike?
No, like each of us had our own bike. It was the first time that we had our own bike.
Okay.
All our bikes had training wheels on there.
Mm-hmm.
And we rode, we sat on the training wheels. From the minute I seen the training wheels and I sat on the bike, I wanted to take off the training wheels.
You're just excited.
Oh yeah, I thought I could ride a bike. What's so hard about it? I was confident up until then, but once those training wheels came off,
You were terrified.
I was
The
terrified.
goosebumps, the nauseousness.
I didn't know how to push that first pedal
Yeah.
until someone came along. I can't remember who it was, and just pushed me along. Obviously, they held the back.
And then you noticed the momentum.
And then I
picked you
noticed
up.
the momentum, noticed the balance. I fell down a few times, but I got straight back up and did it again. But that initial moment, I had to overcome that fear to push that pedal.
I remember that too. I remember I had the training wheels, Claim, but after that, I only had them for like a couple of weeks. I saw this kid on, the balance bikes. So it's like a bike, but with no pedals at all and no training wheels. Just got two wheels and a bike. So he kicks with his feet.
Yeah, I've seen
And
them. Yeah.
It's a little tiny bike. Kids, man, this kid was having the time of his life. I saw my bike and I saw him. He's just running with his feet and he rolls down the hill and just flying down the hill. No brakes, no pedals, no nothing. But he is I've never seen a kid have so much fun. I looked at him. I'm like, I don't want my bike anymore. I want one with no back wheels, no training wheels.
My bike, when I was young, I don't know what happened to it, but then when I got older towards high school, I saved up to buy this bike. I really wanted it because it was a way to go places instead of running or walking. So I decided one way to feel good about buying this bike is that I'm going to walk an hour and a half or an hour and 50 minutes from where I live to the store, buy it,
and ride it back.
And ride it back.
Wow.
Whoa.
And I still remember the joy. I rode it back. I went to my grandma
Were you,
because it was on the way.
confident in riding a bike at that time? Like you had the skills to
think
ride
he-
a bike?
Well, I had the basic fundamental skills
I
of
think
riding
he was
a bike.
older because he went to
Yeah, I
purchase
was
the
older.
bike.
Oh,
anyway.
okay. So
Yeah, I was in high
you had
school.
ridden a bike before. Oh, high school?
Yeah, year 7.
Okay.
I jogged or ran or walked to the place. It took about an hour, which was fine. Then on the way back, I'm like, I want to visit grandma because I got my transport device now. I visited grandma, said hi to her, showed her my new bike, rode back home.
That's awesome.
My mum
man.
was like, "Where'd you go?" I thought I just bought a bike. Yeah, and
Surprise.
so
Remember that aid money?
that's it. It was
gone.
$20 a week. Each week I
You know,
saved it.
Subhanallah. Something just crossed my mind. It's completely different to our topic right now that
Yeah.
we're discussing. But look how times have changed.
Yeah.
We went from comparing our bikes
Yeah.
between one another to comparing phones to comparing cars. Look at how life changes so much. Like we go from all these different stages in our life, and we go from learning how to drive or ride a bike for the first time to driving.
Driving the first time.
And you just see these elements, these same reoccurring elements that people they fear. You rode a bike for the first time, you're going to be able to drive.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to overcome the driving. I remember the first time I drove, I was scared
Me too.
on the road.
I failed my L's twice.
Me too.
I failed.
I didn't fail.
I failed them
No.
twice, but man, I'm gonna blame it on my dad.
Yeah, I didn't study. That's why.
No,
I didn't even do.
Oh,
just
not the
walked
L's.
in
I
there.
failed the P's twice.
I failed
L's
the
I got them
P's
first
because
time.
of a stop sign.
Here we go.
I failed the P's because my dad kept telling me, "You don't need an instructor. I'll teach you."
Oh,
You know these Lebo dads?
yeah.
Oh, you don't need an instructor. He's too proud. You don't need an instructor. I'll teach you the road rules. I sat there. I didn't even know half the road rules. I thought I knew them all. I'm driving. After I finished, he goes, "You lost on this, and this, and this." I'm like, "What? I had to do these
It's
things?
the first time I hear of them.
A head check? What's a head
think
check?
That's bad. I had a guy who was an absolute prick. He jumped in the car with me, and I went to go for my first test. And the instructor guided me through all of that, the area. When you exit, there's 2 stop signs. There's a stop sign, and then there's another one after the crossing.
Yeah,
The first stop sign, I didn't stop there for 3 seconds.
yeah.
Because there was no one there, and I was young. So he made me do the whole test, and he's like, "Your score was, for example, 140, which is flying colors. He's like, but you failed on the first stop sign.
Oh, what a burn
I
job.
said, so you made me drive the whole way? He's like, yeah, by law, I can't. I drove the whole duration and I failed on the
You
first
must
stop
have
sign.
been so upset.
Man,
But did that stop you or did you try again?
Nah, I went to a next place and guess what he told me? He's like, you're lucky I was going to fail you on the first stop sign. They had it hanging up, the stop sign that wasn't on the pole. It was just in Padstow, it was hanging up. Yeah. And then I stopped for so long on the next stop sign. He's like, you know, it's safe for you to go. And I'm not going to give you any
Yeah.
more tips. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be
oh,
myself.
no.
And be
He
relaxed.
let you go easy.
Yeah.
And my dad was so pissed off when I told him, oh, yeah, I booked an instructor. After I fell 2 times, he goes, you don't need it. What for? You just don't listen to me. I'm like, man, I just need an instructor, please, Dad. Then I got an instructor. And then when I did the 3rd time when I went for it and I passed, I thought I'm failing. I took this, I had a Toyota Corolla, old one, had no air conditioning in it, no nothing in it, no power steering. Drove up to the place, a manual car. I get him, I want to do my test in the manual car, and that's the only car I have. Then he goes, yeah, okay. Then he didn't see the car. I was just talking. He thought, oh, how bad could it be? It's just a new model manual car. He walks up to it. He looks at it. He goes, we're going in this. I go, yeah. I go, why? He goes, it was midsummer. He goes, does it even have air conditioning? Because I have to keep the windows up. I'm like, no. He looked at me as if I'm going to fail you already.
Oh no.
Yeah, but lucky that one, I passed it, man.
So you passed that one.
You know
too.
what's nice about those changes in our life? It teaches you to practice mindfulness.
Yeah.
Like being mindful of your situation, understanding your situation, quieting your mind in order to overcome these obstacles.
Yeah.
Just stopping, quietening your mind and thinking to yourself, I can do this. Do you know what I mean by quietening your mind?
I know exactly what you mean.
You know, like don't let all those
Just settle down.
fearful thoughts, don't let all those, those inclinations come to your
overwhelmed.
mind. Just quieten your mind. Have the confidence in yourself and just do it.